I can't save them. I can tell you the score, what's going on. I had 5. I watched my 5. My wife was out. She better have watched them because she wasn't working. So you know what? You can't go to work to make a living because they're in your house like they're shopping there. Only thing I can tell you is black crime on black crime. The harder you work, the harder they steal from you. They ain't just breaking in East St. Louis. They in Belleville, Fairview Heights, all over. They just go. Wherever you go, there's crime. Your pastor said it a few minutes ago when he was talking. You look east, you look west, you look south, and you look north. There's crime. There's trouble. You're not going to get out of this here world without trouble. But you try to make it a minimum as possible. So let me tell you something. If we would take care of our kids and train our kids the way they should go in life, I said train them now. That's what the Bible said. The Bible said train them. Amen. It don't say raise nothing, but some corn. It says train. We got the word mixed up. You know, I'm not a preacher, but y'all know you raise corn, you raise tomatoes, you train your children. That's all I want to tell you. I might have spoke out of turn, I might not get no vote, but that's okay.
Galilee.
I told you the truth.
Central Baptist Church over here at the meeting of 2015 candidates.
My question is this here, Mayor, and to the other candidates there. I'm hearing a lot of information about these new businesses that are coming to East St. Louis, and I want to know how much ownership will be invested in these businesses. A lot of times they'll come in, they'll be here. I'll just give an example, a 90-day notice, and if it's not good enough for them, they're gone. So how much will be East St. Louis will have its ownership, even with the rail system coming in, and I think I heard you on TV talking about some type of vegetable garden where they're growing vegetables and hanging upside down. Right. Okay, so what ownership would East St. Louis have in that?
It varies business by business. Let me give you one business that is out on Missouri Avenue between Missouri and Lake Drive, and it's called the Alcoa Site Solar Farm. This is a development that's actually going to be led by a group out of Connecticut called Brightfields. They are bringing $140 million worth of development. You know where the old red hills were with the ball fields, the Jackie Robinson Corey League? That is going to be their business, but the land will be East St. Louis's land. So the land belongs to the city. And the good news is the revenue that will come to the city is $250,000 per year for the beginning of the deal. Now, the most important part of that, and then I'm going to get to the rest of your question, is the flag that East St. Louisans will be able to fly and say, we are the home of green electricity. We are the home of state-of-the-art ways of fueling America. So that's the most important piece. You'll be able to fuel houses, you'll be able to fuel the industry right across the street on Missouri Avenue. They will actually produce enough electricity at that location to fuel the entire city of East St. Louis if we ever needed it to. Now, the good news is the land belongs to the city, and we can lease it for as long as we need to. There are some other businesses that the city will have no ownership in, but the city will insist that you see East St. Louisans working and East St. Louisans being a part of the job opportunities. Let me give you another one. The new medical marijuana cultivation center. The land that they're going into is not owned by the city of East St. Louis, but the city of East St. Louis is very much a part of the licensing process, which will allow them to be operating in the city of East St. Louis. So therefore, we will insist on certain things such as X percentage of the construction being done with East St. Louis businesses, X percentage of the jobs that are coming being done with East St. Louisans working, X percent of anything that's being done from a business opportunity standpoint being done with East St. Louis. So in some cases, the city will have ownership. In some other cases, the city will not. In the other cases, there will be individuals who are in the city, and it's not necessarily city government, but there are businesses and people who will be linked into these different businesses to make good things happen. Does that answer your question, Ms. Hoover?
Yes.
It's going to vary deal by deal.
Galilee.
You were speaking of the aquaponics before, where the gentleman is talking about taking a big part of Rush City and building a 200,000 square foot facility, which will actually grow fish and grow fruits and vegetables indoors, and be able to do so using a lot less space than if those individuals had to do it the natural way on land. That business, we haven't worked out the terms and conditions just yet with how the ownership will be, and will the city have any ownership in it. It all depends, again, deal by deal, but you're thinking about things the right kind of way. There should always be something in it for East St. Louis and East St. Louisans. That's what we're about.
City clerk, the replacement.
So, and also, I want to know, I mean, all of you all belong to the church, work faithfully in the church. How much, whichever one of you became mayor for the next year, how much work would you all be working with the churches to help bring about some of these changes? I'm a product of the civil rights movement, and I love African American history, and everything that we ever had as African American, for us, is freedom of anything. It started in the church. So, where does the church fit?
Ms. Hoover, I'm going to make mine real quick and simply say that that's something that we do on a regular and consistent basis. Councilwoman LaToya Greenwood belongs to a church called Unity Lutheran, located at 4200 Caseyville Avenue. We're working with her church and their group right now on developing a major housing development that Unity Lutheran is leading for the community near 42nd and Caseyville. And they're planning to spread it through a big part of the Lansdowne community. One of the other things that we've been doing is working with Mount Sinai. Now, Mount Sinai is clearly leading the way with this development, but the city of East St. Louis works very closely with Mount Sinai to be sure that they can get the resources from the federal and state government to continue building the housing that they're looking to build. You hit a very key point. Over the last 10 to 15 years, the church has led a lot of development. Not so much in East St. Louis. We see a little bit, like with the Rush Gardens development and what's going on out with the Sinai, the housing that's right across the street from Mount Sinai Church, the New Salem place, things of that nature. But in other cities, the church has been even more instrumental in developing housing and business. Because of that linkage that you just talked about, we plan to work with the churches as aggressively and assertively as they need the city to work with them. Because that's a very big part of the development arm.
I just wanted to add to what has been stated and what you're talking about as far as the businesses coming in here and what they contribute to our city and to our citizens is called being a good corporate citizen. Yeah. And anytime a business comes in here, it's our job, it's our responsibility to make sure that they're giving back to the community in some way, not just in a small way. Yes. Because just like we invest our tax dollars in them, they should be investing that into our community, to our young people, to our citizens, to our city. So definitely we have to make sure that we ensure that these businesses are good corporate citizens, because every business that we've had to come in East St. Louis has not been a good corporate citizen. We have some businesses right now who are wreaking havoc on our citizens, on our city as a whole. And we know who they are and we know what they are. Okay, so those are some of the things that we need to address. Those businesses that have brought mayhem on our city, on our young people. And instead of investing, they're taking away. So we want to make sure we tweak that and we look at that and make sure as a city that we get rid of that. Thank you.
Ms. Hoover, I'd just like to add one other point that I just really feel a need to say. Well, I agree that there's some businesses who have not been as responsible as they need to be. We've got one of the most generous corporate communities that you will ever see.